Welcome, everybody. Racing down in the Western Cape today at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth. And I wasn't going to do a preview, but to be honest, with Captain's Ransom and do it again on the card, it'd be remiss of me not to chat to you and talk about that quality race and so also some punting possibilities. And I think the pools will be good and some nice races, very competitive racing. I expect the jackpots, pick sixes, etc., to pay really well. So let's get it straight into it. It'll be an abbreviated preview, but I know there's a lot of people who want my thoughts, so I will go through them. Right, let's start off with the card changes. So in race two, number 2, Gimme Dat is under medication. That's scratched. Some late scratchings this morning. Important scratching there. Race 4, number 12, Narina Trogon. Race 5, number 12, Defining Moment. Race 8, numbers 1, Demelza, and 13, Epsom Girl. And at this stage, just the one jockey change. Cabello gets the ride. Race 1, number 7. Okay, let's get on to some fixed odds, shall we? And just going to have a look at the pick six. I think the pick six is a real challenge, but what's a challenge if you don't accept it? So let's have a look at this opening race. I know Nino sent me a message overnight, said, price boost Captain's Ransom. To which my response was, well, thanks, Nino. It's 7 to 10. It's actually 6.5 to 10. But if you are going to take his line of thinking and looking for a banker in the pick six, perhaps that's the one, because Captain's Ransom, of course, is a 12-time winner from 15 starts. She will need this run. My son is arriving. Noah, please be quiet. Maybe there's an omen if there's horse called Noah today, because I'm recording for the racing people. Right, so Captain's Ransom, as I was saying, is a short price favorite, but also the conditions of the race being a pinnacle stakes. She comes in very well weighted. The closest thing to her is her stable companion, Do It Again, who probably will want more than 7 furlongs to be fully effective, and in any event will need the run. So it is a banker for you, and I'm sure, as I said, that Nino will be bankering it. Maybe that's the place to take a chance, because if you try and beat that and go wide, this perm is going to be extremely expensive. The other bonus with that is that you'll know your fate early if you're going to banker in the first leg Captain's Ransom. But it really is a terrific race. Waterbury Lane, underrated. I think he'll have a nice season. Future Prince, this race doesn't necessarily suit him, but I think he's got some petrol in the tank there. And of course, Do It Again. Good to see him back on the track. So that's a really nice first race. Okay, so let's move on to first race of the pick six. Let's move on to race 4. And here the money has poured on number 4, Blackberry Malt. He's a son of Ideal World. He's got a benefit of a useful draw at 4. And he was just pipped by Inamore, who he is much better off this time round at the weight. So if you have a look, he's down 1 kilogram, and Inamore is up 1 kilogram. So there's Inamore, who's at 33 to 10 in the market. I can see why of those two, the money has come for number 4, Blackberry Malt. But if he were to fluff his lines, I think the race has an open look about it. I certainly would consider a few roughies. I wouldn't leave number 2, Incredible, out, who on the Inamore run is down 2.5 kilograms and is well drawn at 2. What I like about number 2, Incredible, is that he's been running in 86 merit ratings. This is a 74. So I think that Per Cornet offer from a good draw, number 2, Incredible, is certainly worth putting into the mix. 3, Douglas, I see, has got blinkers on and not much weight. But the truth is, once you delve a bit deeper than Inamore and the money horse, number 4, Blackberry Malt, there could be a upset opportunity. My value in that race would be number 2, Incredible, as I say. Let's move on to race 5. That was the first leg of the first jackpot. This will be the first leg of the second jackpot. It's a fillies and mares race. And as you know, when you see F and M, it should be Field and More. I think this is a very open race, but interesting, a lot of money for number 3, Gold Poker Game. Let's just go down to include all these horses. So let's start with Gold Poker Game. Candice Bass Robinson's yard is in excellent form. Aldo de Meyer rides. He is overweight by 0.5 kilogram, but that was a terrific run by her behind Betty Boop. And I have no problem with her being supported in the fact that she's favourite. So well worth looking at Gold Poker Game as an option. But I think, again, that if you scrape away the surface, Noah, If you scrape away the surface, there's others that have to be looked at, including number 2, Lady Silvana, who has been supported. I like her a lot, actually. I thought she was value in the race. She's a daughter of Bold Silvana, but on her last 2 starts, she was carrying 60 kilograms. She's dropped down to 2.5, and she wasn't well drawn. Here she jumps from stall gate 2. And if you have a look at her first 2 runs of her career, she finished 5th to Golden Hostess, who was, what can I say about Golden Hostess's run on the weekend to give you an idea of what my thinking was, but not stick anybody away. I think it was an interesting ride, and it was a ride that was looking on. So Golden Hostess for me, go and have a look at that if you want to be entertained. But after that, she beat Hear My Voice, and that form is pretty good. So 2 Lady Silvana certainly worth a mention. But again, the race doesn't stop there. If you drop down to those carrying 56 kilograms, you've got Perilla, daughter of Erupt, out of that horse chestnut mare. She was drawn 9 out of 9. I think she'll run well here. Umvuti looks particularly well in off just 55.5 kilograms. She has drifted in the market. I'm not so sure she's as classy as the others, but she's only got 55.5 to carry. Number 8, Virginia Sweet, is actually Do It Again sister. Disappointing last run, but the blinkers have been removed. So there's lots of upset possibilities. Even the old campaigner, number 11, Enchanted Creek, not well drawn at 11. So that's a huge negative. But she's only got 55.5 kilograms to carry. So, yeah, that race beyond Gold Poker Game and Lady Silvana also looks open. Let's move on to race 6. And let's have a look at the betting here. Okay. Money for Happy Chance, which I must be honest, I didn't particularly like, but I'll start there because that's a lot of money. 5 to 1, through 4 to 1, into 7 to 2 now, 3 to 1. Obviously, a beautiful pedigree. She's a daughter of Dynasty out of a Captain Almare. Ignore the last run, obviously, because I'm just trying to decipher what was said. Veterinary surgeon, nothing detected. Awkward stride, I guess that means. And eased. Well, it was eased out of the race. So Happy Chance put a line through the last one, but still 57 kilograms for the 3-year-old. She's got to give the likes of Lucy the Pink 2 kilograms. I'm not saying I particularly like Lucy the Pink, but if you have a look at the maiden run, Lucy the Pink beat Happy Chance at level weights and is now receiving 2 kilograms. So if you like Happy Chance, clearly some people do, and you've got to say Lucy the Pink at 16 to 1's got a chance. So I thought, again, this was a tough race. It is a fillies and mares. I'd go as wide as possible. Let's quickly go through them. Number 1, Beneath the Moon, 56.5 kilograms. She's got the blinkers on, draw of 1, so can't rule out. Cruising California is an older filly, well drawn. All of these obviously are well drawn. 3, Raising Quinn, equally well drawn. Lucy the Pink, I've mentioned. Wouldn't leave out Everglades, to be honest. She's a 4-year-old filly. Last run, she was doing some late work. Grant Vanica gets on. She's got some earmuffs on. The previous 2 runs behind Petit Moi and Betty Boop. Not much on the Petit Moi form between a whole bunch of them. And she wasn't well drawn that day. So, yeah, she's got to have a chance. Parisian Girl, the 4-year-old. I'm trying to find something you can leave out. I'm not so sure you can leave anything out here. I might be going field in this race. I think this is probably my field race, even though they're 13 runners. You want to try and narrow it down, but you do so at your peril. I think that's probably the worst race on the card, or the toughest race on the card. Race 7, let's move on. Let's see if we can go a bit narrower here. Money for Navy Strength. Well, he's always been a nice horse. The Snape team, of course, rolling out the winners. Interesting to me that Navy Strength is the choice of rides for Richard Faree. Last time he rode it, he ran second. He was flying up behind Pickettburgh Alley. 4-year-old, well-related, just 57 kilograms. So he's getting 3 kilograms from his stable companion, I Want It All. And they're both 4-year-olds. So of the Snaith runners, or those 2 Snaith runners anyway, I Want It All, certainly I prefer Navy Strength. I thought Royal Watch was a ridiculous price now that I see it's 40 to 1. But anyway, because that's been running in 95s and 93s. His last 3 runs, he's clearly better than that. So I find that amazing at 40 to 1, Royal Watch, for a place. But beyond Navy Strength, the other horses that I want to talk about are actually over the page in the computer forms, 11 and 9. 11 Global Alley looks to me to be well in here off just 54.5 kilograms. He's a 4-year-old. Louis and Cottrell can't make the weight, I don't believe, 54.5, which is why Capello rides it. Obviously a negative of the 11 draw, but I'm sure they'll take their medicine, drop out, and I'd like to see this horse given a chance and running on. At his penultimate start, when he was drawn 9 out of 10, those were the tactics, and he didn't really quicken, but the veterinary surgeon didn't find anything wrong, and he apparently took no interest, so I'm going to ignore that run. I think Global Alley at a big price might be an each-way prospect, as indeed number 9, Silent War, is. Mornay Vinar rides. Negative, obviously, the 9 draw, but only carrying 54 kilograms, and he's well related, is number 9, Silent War. I think, I'm trying to remember that his brother, who's pretty useful, but he doesn't stay. What distance is this? 1950. Yeah, we'll see. He's trying this trip for a first time, is Silent War. If he does like it and stays, I think he could be a possible surprise, and he is 25 to 1. So just summing up, the key is clearly in Navy Strength. There's a lot of money for him, and obviously the Snape Yard are bullish. So who am I to put you off if you like Navy Strength? Beyond that, though, it does have an open look, as I say. Right, let's move on to the last race, race 8 on the program. Good way to end. A lot of money for the Van Sale horse here, number 2, a little bit naughty. Well, this is a 5-year-old mare. Pierre Stradham rides. Well drawn, of course, at 2, up the inside at Kenilworth. By the way, there's a late scratching here of number 1, Demelza. So I suppose you can respect number 2 a little bit naughty. He's got 58 kilograms to shoulder. I'd have to say she wouldn't be my first choice. Where is the value in the race? Well, I spoke about Nino earlier on. I know he likes number 5, Camille Claudel here. And you might be onto something. She's drawn okay at 5. She's a daughter of Trippy. She's also very well related. And her last 2 runs, I think she's better than that. Alda de Meyer keeps the ride. Got to be a runner. 6 Red Sash is pretty firm in the market and is well related as well. She's only had the 3 starts and hasn't run a poor race to date. A couple of long shots for you. Number 8, Double Dream, I think is quite well in here, being a 4-year-old carrying just 58 kilograms. Earlier on in her career, she didn't get any draws, and she didn't get a good draw last time. She's up the straight here, but is well enough drawn at 8. My roughie in the race is probably going to be number 12, Apollo Moon. Apollo Moon's a 4-year-old. Probably prefer to see her drawn more lower towards the inside of the track. But let's have a quick look at Apollo Moon and the reason why I like her. Obviously, I don't like the draw, as I mentioned, but she's been campaigning in 86 merit ratings, 80, 78s. This is a merit rated 74, so she's in slightly lower company, and I think she'll run well, carrying just 57.5 kilograms. But again, the money here is for number 2, a little bit naughty. I'm not so sure I'm going to be following that, but you can see for yourself that there's money for that one. Others to put in the last race, well, I'm going to go fairly wide. My studying tells me the number 4, I'll Slip Away, is actually held by Camille Claudel. Veronique, Greg Enion's horse, and number 9, Fly to Rio, are horses that I've gone for before, and we've made a little bit of money on them because they've been price boosters. But I do think this is perhaps a slightly stronger field, and there's more depth to it. So I won't totally leave them out. But for me, as I say, I'm shopping around looking for value in the likes of the 2 Vaughan Marshall runners, 12, Apollo Moon, and 8, Double Dream. So that's my take on the card today. It is competitive. It's pretty useful as far as the race meeting is concerned. I think the pools will be pretty good, and well worth watching the racing in Cape Town today. Certainly the Greg Bortz factor is there for all to see. It's good times, promising racing as we head into the Cape summer season, and we wish them all the best. From Neil and the team, thanks for watching and have a good day punting. No, would you like to say goodbye?
I like to watch on the phone.
Right, he wanted to watch on the phone because Dad was on the computer. But there you go. Have a good day's racing. It's load shedding. He's right about that.